gentlemen, we want to welcome y'all here to the NRS shopping experience. And right now, welcome to the stage, 8-time world champion, Fred Whitfield. Give him a hand. There you go. Fred, thanks for being here, buddy. And his first time here at the NFR, Buddy Hawkins. Come on up here, buddy. Give him a hand. All right, thanks for being here. Hey, Fred, grab this first seat. We got you a mic one, and we got you an order right here. And next up here, 8-time NFR qualifier, Cesar de la Cruz on the heeling end. Give him a big hand. Thank you, Cesar. And 2-time NFR qualifier, Chandler Bownds, bull rider. Come on up here. Let's see here, buddy. Number 4, right there. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all being here. Fallon Taylor's going to be with us. She'll be coming in here in just a second. And I want to mention everybody, this is live fed on the NRSworld.com website. And guys, I always like this this day. It's the first day. And, you know, and Fred, we'll talk to you about this as well. You know, you've been through it 20 times, you know, or something like that, you know, 8-time world champ. But Fred, I'm going to start with you right here. First day of the NFR, you know, what was your routine, you know, as far as your horses or I know you got to sign autographs and all that, but what's this first day like?
Well, for me, I always tried to keep things on an even keel.
Yeah.
You know, I would have left home on Saturday and probably drove, you know, 1,000 miles, would put me somewhere around Tucson, Marina, Arizona. Stayed the night there, rolled in here Monday morning, put the horses up. Monday evening, we roped the calves. You know, my team starts to get here and kind of get things under wraps.
Right.
And so it takes a little bit of the stress off of you of having to do everything when you've got people around you that know exactly what you expect of them, and they kind of all work together. And as far as being prepared, I've always tried to be prepared for the National Finals Rodeo when I left Hockley.
Yeah.
You know, once you show up out here, I mean, you can go tune your horse, score a few. If things don't get going, you know, in the right fashion right off the bat, then a guy might want to go practice, run a few, tweak a few things here and there. But, you know, for the 20 years that I made the NFR, when I left my house, whether it was Saturday, Friday, whenever, I wanted to be mentally prepared for the challenges out here. Sure,
perfect. And Buddy Hawkins, yours is kind of a special deal. Not only is this the first day, first time to the NFR, man, what's this mean to you? What's today been like for you?
Man, it's everything really. I mean, if this is what you've wanted, you know, for your life, this is all of it, you know. And I'm glad I got more than one to run. I'm sure it would be a lot. I'm sure it'd be a lot crazier if I did just have one.
Yeah.
But you know, I haven't rodeoed that long. Most of the rodeos I went to this year, I went to for the first time, and had a reasonable level of success at those. So. You know, everybody will tell you to look at it like it's just another rodeo, and I definitely can't do that.
Yeah, it's not just another rodeo.
Right, but I am trying to take the exact same approach. You know, I prepared the same as I prepared all year, and you know, but it's special. You know, I roped 6 days a week for 12 years ago. I started roping, thinking about the National Finals Rodeo, and now we've got just a few hours to go. So pretty cool.
Sure. Cesar, it's your 8th time. And, you know, like Buddy's talking about, you've got the same thing going on. I mean, it's, you know, that first one was probably, you know, had a little different feel to you. But, you know, you're in Las Vegas here, and talk about, you know, you coming up. I mean, this is the 8th time. What do you got going on?
This is pretty neat. I love the NFR. There's nothing like it. Like Buddy said, this is the pinnacle of what we work for our whole lives. So I get pumped up to get here every year. I get excited a week or two. I really don't hold nothing back when I'm roping at the house. I rope the goat, I rope lead steers, I rope anything that I possibly can.
Sure.
Because when you get here and you try to practice or work on it, it's too late.
Right, sure.
You already missed the boat. And I'm excited for Buddy. I've seen Buddy all year long, and you know, the excitement on his face when he rides into the grand entry is going to be one to remember. That's my favorite thing about the rodeos.
I forgot about the grand entry, man. That's from the guys I've talked to, that's up there with, you know, just being here, you know, being in that and representing your state, you know, and the crowd going crazy.
But you get to enjoy the crowd right then. You're real nervous when you get to compete. And that's the first time you get to actually enjoy the crowd and kind of holler and have fun with all the friends.
Yeah, sure. Chandler, you were hurt last year, right?
Yes, sir.
I remember interviewing you over there, and I think there was a table. There was about 5 of you guys over there signing autographs, and I think every one of y'all were hurt.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, but you're back in the flow. You're back here this year. What did you come in? Are you coming in like sitting 11th, something like
yes,
that?
Sir,
I mean,
11th.
You're right in the mix.
Yeah, I'm right in the mix, but it's going to take 3 or 4 go-around wins to jump up there in #1 spot. But, I mean, it's all I got to do is ride every single bull, take them one at a time.
Sure. Do you know what you've drawed yet?
Yeah, I got a bull Mike Corey's night called Wild Eyes. Should be pretty good. And then the bull tomorrow night at Rafter G's is Johnny Ramone.
Right.
And I haven't seen him very much this year, but they told me he's pretty good.
Right, sure. Perfect, man. Well, good luck with that deal. Fred, you've got a book out, and I've got it right here, and we'd like to do something. We'll talk to you about it in a minute, but we'd like to maybe get you to sign it, and maybe we can, give it away somehow or something like that.
For sure, I'd love to.
But talk about that book and kind of the process and what you've gone through, to put a book together like this.
Well, this actually started in 2010.
Right.
So almost 3 years ago.
Right,
to the day. I think we actually met here.
Started out.
And we, it was just a thought.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife and I, we took some time to think about it. And, we liked the approach that the lady took, that my co-writer. And she did some stuff and sent it to us. And, I mean, we went right to work on it. And 2.5 years later, I was hoping to have it done last year.
Right,
and
sure.
we were pressing dates and doing this, and we actually self-published.
Right, sure.
I did.
Sure.
So we did everything on our own, and we pitched it to some pretty big publishers, and nobody really bid on it. And I thought, I'm in a pretty good place right now, and we can afford to do this. And so I did, and it's probably been one of the smartest moves I've ever made in my life.
Sure.
But back to the book, it just tells my life story. And there's something in there for everybody.
Right.
I went through a lot of tough times in my life, but I just never gave up. And I knew that I had enough people around me, or I was surrounding myself with good people, or people that wanted to be involved in the success of Fred Whitfield. And that's what it's all about. There's stories in there that'll just make your hair stand up on your arm. And the thing about it is, we were totally honest when we sat down to do this project. And I said, one of these days I'm going to tell it, and I'm going to tell it the way it happened. And it's really inspirational, and I think it's a must-read.
Right, sure. Ladies and gentlemen, making the grand entry right here, barrel racer Fallon Taylor. Give her a hand real quick. We'll get you a microphone there, Fallon.
Thank you.
How's it going?
It's going good.
Good.
Fast.
I bet you've been busy.
It's been a busy morning.
I imagine.
We're
excited.
excited.
So. Well, good. I was wanting to visit with you a little bit. As far as we talked to the guys here, what's your day been like? It's round 1 was kind of what we were talking about up here.
I'm totally out of breath. First
Oh,
of
yeah,
all.
I imagine.
I just sprinted down the street in my colored jeans
Right.
all the way to here, just making it happen.
Flashing through there.
Yeah, this morning's been crazy. It's so much fun to get to meet everybody, and we try to do our very best to meet with each and every person that maybe we've given a little bit of inspiration to throughout the year. So this morning, the WPRA honored all of us with a big luncheon, and they give us a saddle this morning.
Wow.
And they really do a lot of really cool things for us. And then as soon as that was done, which was about 13 minutes ago, I'm right here now, and then I'm excited to get to my horse as soon as we're done here. So it's a hectic schedule, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, I'm going to say this. I won't keep y'all long because I know y'all got things to do, and it's late in the afternoon and all that. But Fallon, tell us about Baby Flo, and tell us talk to your horse. Talk to us about your horse a little bit.
She's way cooler than I am, so I'm just a representative on her behalf.
Sure.
She just won the AQHA Horse of the Year award last night. We're
honored
for that.
Congratulations.
I went to the national finals on her mother and her father, and they're buried at my place. And to have a baby, a foal, go on that I trained myself and got bucked off of in the round pen. And, I mean, not to sound like a Drake song or anything, but when I got my NFR back number last night, I was like, man, did we start from the bottom?
All
I can think about is getting bucked off in that round pen 5, 6, 7 times, you know.
Sure.
And now I've got an NFR back number and Horse of the Year, and it's just very exciting. I'm honored to even be able to throw a leg over her tonight.
Sure. Well, good deal, and congratulations on that
Thank
Horse
you.
of the Year. That's great.
Thank you.
Chandler, for you to even be here this year, you had to win some big rodeos. What sticks out to you this year about some, or a particular bull or anything like that?
Yes, sir. I had a pretty good year there the first year. I think won second at the Extreme Bull Riding in Fort Worth, and then won Corpus. It was a pretty good rodeo.
Right.
I was 91 in Corpus, and got a pretty good check out there. And that was one of my biggest wins of the year. And then I won around at Cheyenne this year, and didn't make it to Salinas. I actually missed the books on that one.
Oh, cool.
Wish I wouldn't have, but glad that I'm still here without going to one of them big rodeos.
And I guess stuff like that happens. I got another buddy, and I ain't gonna say who it was, but missed the books. I mean, y'all are busy. There's a lot of rodeos. The majority of y'all, do y'all schedule that yourself, or do you have help? Getting entered, and how does that work, Chandler? How does it work with you?
With us bull riders, we got 2 or 3 of us traveling together.
Right, sure.
So we're usually buddy each other. So we'll talk to each other.
Right.
And plan out a run for the month and where we want to go on what day. And most time you don't get entered at the day you want, so you got to either trade somebody or, turn out of that rodeo and then enter another one.
Right, sure. Cesar, talk to us about your heading partner.
He's one of the best that ever lived. I really enjoyed roping with the guy. Another story is he broke his leg a couple weeks ago.
I seen that. I did.
He had a horse fall over on top of him, kind of steer cut in front of him. Clipped legs and fell over on him, and he broke his fibula right above the ankle. And to be here just really shows his heart. He's a lot of dedication too. Really admire the guy.
Boy, man, he can do it for sure. Buddy, you won. You and Drew, your header, Drew Horner. Talk about Drew for just a second as well, because this is a team deal. Got your calf roping, bull riding, barrel racing, but it takes both of y'all. As far as team roping goes. But talk about Drew for just a second.
Well, Drew and I have roped. He started maybe a couple years after I did, but we've actually roped off and on since maybe 2008, give or take, and we've kind of been partners several times, and I've been joking with him this fall that we finally have a chance to get ourselves out of the hole at the final.
Sure, yeah, exactly.
Because I went broke about 4 times out here trying it.
Yeah.
And man, a big thing for me, I get up every day and go to work, and it's real tough in this industry. I've had a lot of times that I roped with guys and I felt like it wasn't a 50-50 deal or even 60-40, but I felt like I had to pull the majority of the weight. And man, with Drew, he's a routine guy. He gets up every day and goes to work. He takes it seriously, and we have a lot of the same goals, a lot of the same morals and stuff. So it's real easy for us to go and haul together. And I'm not saying that anybody would love to be in the same rig with anybody for several years straight. But we've got more of a brotherly relationship, so we just tell each other the truth. And it works out real good.
Absolutely. Fred Whitfield, 8 times world champion. I don't know. I see people, maybe win it once, something like that, and I think sometimes they look at that at 8 times world champion, and it may come off that it's easy for you, and it's not.
No.
Even to make it to the NFR.
And that's what I was going to say to these guys. They worked their butts off all year long, because I rodeoed a little bit. Me and my wife and kids, we loaded up in June, and we took off, and I had a really good 4th. Then I went up to Calgary and done really good, and come back winning about 4th, I think, at Cheyenne, and hadn't been gone from home, 35 days, something like that, and had a little bit of bad luck in the short round, and that was my approach when I left home. I said, if I can go make the finals in 30 days, which Scott Cormos, Cody O both did it. Did it handily.
Right, sure.
And that was just my approach for this year. But, man, you've got to be so dedicated and so, I don't know the word here I'm looking for, but you just got to do it day in and day out. And in order to have a chance to win a gold buckle, you have to qualify here first.
Right, sure. Yeah.
And then once you're here once and a couple of times, and we're going to see a lot of good stuff go on this week. Everybody that made it here deserves to be here, whether they squeaked in 14th. And the thing about it is this deal's getting better and better every year. I think the rounds are going to pay around $18,500, something like that. And the average is pretty close to $50 grand. So, there's going to be a lot of dreams come true this week. There's going to be some hearts that are going to be broken. And the thing about it is you just can't let the moment get too big. You got to stay within yourself. And I'm not preaching to you guys. I'm just telling you from past experience. Yeah. But, I mean, just let it all hang out, and you know what to do when it's time.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah. Fallon, as far as going up and down the road and barrel racers are concerned, you're kind of by yourself on that deal, right? I mean, you know, team ropers, bull riders, you know, a lot of that, they travel together. How do the barrel racers do it?
You know, a few barrel racers get together and go down the road, but each of us care for our horses so differently, and we all have such routine, and as women, we like it our way.
Oh, yeah.
So
oh, yeah.
We want everything to be just right
Sure.
for our horses, and at this level, our horses are so particular, and they have such a way that they work best, so we kind of set each other up, you know, the way that our horses work exactly, you know, the best to do the best, and it takes so much to keep these animals really healthy and together, and knock on wood, I've been injury free all year, and
Right.
and so, you know, we just pretty much travel primarily by ourselves just to make sure that we keep that same routine throughout the year, that it's up to that horse's standards.
Right, sure, good deal. Cesar, y'all broke in steers yesterday morning, is that right? What do they look like compared to last year?
Steers are going to be a little more stouter this year. They probably got 75 pounds more on them.
Right.
A little more horn. It's going to be a exciting team roping this year.
Yeah.
I think the steers are going to make it pretty
Right.
tough, and I think a lot of guys are going to catch all 10 of them this year.
Sure. Chandler, growing up riding bulls, I'm sure you started at a young age. Who'd you try to, you know, I feel like whether you're a golfer or music or whatever, you imitate somebody's style and then mix in your own, but who'd you imitate starting out?
You know, growing up, I High Plains rodeoed
Wow.
with Trevor and Lane Hedeman, and growing up, I knew Tough growing
Right.
up, so throughout the years, I've idolized him. I mean, he's one of the greats,
Sure.
legends. Everybody knows who he is, and Lane Frost, Steven, I idolized
Right.
him, but growing up, knowing Tough, and going to High Plains, and then going to his bull ridings as soon as I turned 18, I've been going those past 4 or 5 years, and him, I mean, I get to talk to him all the time, you know, he can tell you something that nobody else tell you,
Right.
and he'll tell you how it is and
Sure.
the way it is. And he's a good guy to look up to. He's always there for me and rooting me on, and he'll call me and tell me good luck.
Yeah.
And it's a good person to know, and I've always idolized him very well.
Right, sure. Hey, buddy, as far as the steers go, when y'all were practicing, do you have somebody videoing those steers when y'all were breaking them in? You know, do you know what steer you have, or if he has a characteristic about him?
Yeah, we actually there was probably, I think this year there were probably 10 different video cameras and people
Right.
taking the list, and my wife was videoing from one end and I was making a list on my phone as they ran through. But you know, I obviously I haven't ever been out here when they broke them in,
Right.
but I've broke in steers my whole life, and they seem extremely even to me. I mean, when they pulled the weaker and the stronger ones off for the extras, it seemed like there were 15 that were just real close to the same. But we will go back when we get our draw. We'll go back and we'll look at the video and you know, kind of make a game plan. You know, we came out here to win something, so we're planning on making about the same
Right.
run. It's just more what kind of a start he gets than it is how we're going to finish. We're
Sure.
planning on doing that the same either way.
Sure. Fred, before I forget about it, how can we get your book?
They've got some here. You can get them on my website at Fred Whitfield or GoBucklesDon'tLie.com. And also, for all the older people, Mr. Whitfield just started tweeting today.
Oh, yeah.
I'm all over Twitter
Where's my
and
phone?
Facebook and all that stuff. I'm going to tell you what. You know what I've said, and I don't mean this in a bad way by any means. A few years ago, that my wife and some other people, they were adamant about me tweeting and doing all that stuff. And you know what I told them?
What's that?
I said, I'm not an internet cowboy.
Yeah.
I've made my living in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
But see, I guess as I get older, I'm succumbing to a lot of things that I said I wouldn't do. So
You don't want to
there
get
you
left
are.
behind, right?
So yeah, so all you guys follow me on Twitter at 8X Whitfield
Perfect.
and on Facebook.
Perfect. Well, I'm not going to keep y'all any longer, and it means a lot to us that y'all came up here and hung out with us, and brought you by Cinch. Fred, I know you've already signed autographs over there, and I'm not sure exactly what y'all's schedule is if y'all got autographs to sign over there. But ladies and gentlemen, barrel racer Fallon Taylor, bull rider Chandler Bownds, Cesar de la Cruz, Buddy Hawkins, and world champ Fred Whitfield. Give them a hand.
We're represented very well at the national finals this
Yes.
year,
Yes,
too.
we
We'll
are.
also say
We
that.
love Cinch.
Yes.
We'll put our stuff up against any company in the world.
That's right. That's right. Thank y'all.